Back to the second episode. In the first episode, I did realize that my television sound conflicts with like the actual sound. So there's like an echo
Henry, are you alright?
that gets pretty annoying. So I've learned my lesson, and I'm turning down the volume on my TV way, way down. So hopefully that's going to help with the interference of like hearing an echo all the time with the sound. But in the first episode, we did a lot of introducing to Skalitz and the basic principles of the game. And now we are continuing and concluding our quest and journey in Skalitz. We stopped with giving Teresa the nails. So she's here, she's waiting, she's been waiting a long time. Let's go get her some nailage. Right over here. So the nails, you can take these at the beginning of the game if you want, but I didn't on purpose to show you exactly where they are and what to do if you miss them. But they're in this box in the kitchen where you start the game. And you can take them when you take your bandages and marigold decoctions and all that stuff. Close the door so we don't get a draft. Okay.
Henry, are you alright?
I found the nails.
Here are those nails you wanted.
Thanks. So, how's Bianca?
She's fine. Why do you ask?
Just wondering, will you be going to the dance this evening?
We will.
Maybe we'll see each other there. Anyway, mustn't keep you. I'll be on my way. That sword is truly beautiful.
Oh no.
Fine lass, eh? Now, stop staring at her and come and see this. It's time for the trial by fire. We did a fine job.
I would expect nothing less from such a renowned swordsmith.
Those days are gone, sir.
You haven't lost your skills, though. Would you like to try it?
Sir, what good is a sword to a
Let
commoner?
him try it.
Oh no. That wasn't good at all.
You still have a lot to learn. Ask your father to show you how. He knows what he's about.
Learning his trade will serve him better in life, sir.
Perhaps. But who knows what the future holds for each of us. I see that you almost have it finished.
It just needs a polish, then Henry will bring it to you.
Excellent. Fine work. Very fine. A sword such as this will bring honor to its bearer. What say you, Svan?
True, Sir Radzik. If I'd have had its like back in Nicopolis, things would have worked out differently. How odd to find such an accomplished swordsmith working in a place like this. A man of his talent would have no problem making a fortune in Prague or Vienna.
You're right. It's a very long and peculiar story.
I'd be glad to listen to it over a cup of wine, but duty calls, and I must leave. Here you are. Learn from your father. He truly is a master of his craft.
I'm sure our paths will cross again.
He certainly will.
Once it's ready, send your son up to me with it. Good work, Martin.
Sir.
Sweet. Made a good sword.
It's been an honor, Sir Isvan. Have a safe journey to Sasau.
The honor is mine, Sir Radzik. Thank you for the hospitality.
A long, peculiar history.
That was a long time ago. I might tell you about it sometime, but not today.
Will you teach me how to use it like Sir Radzig said?
Why?
Well, it could come in useful. Maybe I'll travel a bit before settling down. I'd like to know more than the tavern on the green and the forge.
You know the trouble with an adventurous life, son? It can end before it gets started. I might teach you how to handle a sword, and then someone will shoot you with a crossbow as soon as you set foot outside the house.
You talk as if you've seen it happen.
A man my age has seen a lot. Being a blacksmith might bring no glory, but it has its benefits, like keeping your head on your shoulders. I want to end my days in Skalitz, here, beneath the linden tree and by your mother's side.
Well, so do I, one day. But first, I'd like to see the world, meet new people.
Meet them or beat them.
Meet. You have to keep going on about it.
Then you've no need to learn swordplay.
He seems to be going fast.
A messenger.
He was in a hurry. What's happened?
That's a lot of neighbors. Okay, so this is where it really heats up. While it's a very story-heavy game in the beginning, and throughout, but especially at the beginning.
Carefully. Take the sword, go into the house, and grab anything else important from the trunk. Go to the
It
castle.
picks up
Hurry.
quick.
What about you?
Your mother is in the village. I'll fetch her and we'll follow right behind.
I'll go with you.
No. You'll do what I say right now. Give the sword to Sir Radzig. If anything happens, he'll take care of you. He owes me.
Oh, that didn't work.
Quickly! We have to close the gates!
Move! Come on, we're closing!
Move it, people!
Come on!
We're running
Come
out of
on!
time! Oh, Henry! Thank God! Get inside, quick! We have to shut the
Keep
gates!
running, people! Come on!
Mind this for me.
Are you mad? You can't go back! Ah,
Get through the gates!
Probably not the best idea to run into an army of enemies. Oh, but his dad's a badass. Took down like 5 guys there. 6. Oh no.
hurry, Henry! There's nothing you can do! Come on, Hal! You can still make it!
Run!
Find a horse! Ride to Talmberg! Tell them what's coming! Warn them!
Run by the moat! There's a path down there! Jump down from the wall and flee!
Alright. We are getting out of here. In a hurry. Now, it's important in this step. It's going to save your game here, so if you die, you die. But they tell you to run. Like, that's the quest, is run. And they're not joking. You really need to run. I tried to sneak around here, and it doesn't matter because the Cumans, or the army, is pulling in from all directions. The enemy forces, so there's nowhere to hide. They eventually come and get you, and they're chasing you from behind too, so you can't really hide from them. They eventually catch up to you. So you want to, this is sort of a big hill, and it's not very clear where you go down, but you want to follow this down all the way to the ground where all these houses are. And as soon as you get to these houses, it's going to pop up this little message, probably right here. Here we go. So this is about horse riding. And again, I can just explain this to you, but I'm glad the game's paused. So it's just regular movement on your horse is called a trot, and it's pretty slow. If you hold your run button, which is circle on the PlayStation 4, then he'll canter. So cantering is sort of like jogging to a horse. It's a good speed, but in the open countryside, it's still going to be a little bit slow. The gallop is you double-click circle and then hold it. And this sort of simulates you kicking the horse in real life, and like a few times to get it to go faster. So you hit the circle button twice, and that's a gallop. He goes the fastest he can go. There are different horses with different speeds, different staminas, different carrying capacities, and there are also items you put on your horse, like bridles, saddles with saddlebags, horseshoes, all this type of stuff, capons or capons or whatever they're called, those sheets that you can put over horses. And then the stamina indicator is the last thing to know. It's right next to your health bar. It's that green bar that they're pointing at the bottom of the screen. So that's your horse's stamina. If you ride your horse too hard and his stamina is drained, he will attempt, and probably successfully, buck you. So just be aware of that. Now, there's an optional objective here before I unpause. This girl in the town is almost about to be raped by these 3 enemy soldiers. You can choose if you want to save her. Now, you're not a warrior. Again, this is a very hyper-realistic game, as I said in the previous episode, so you can't just run in and kill all these guys. If you killed one, that would be pretty awesome. These guys are like trained soldiers. They're seasoned troops. You're not going to have a chance against them right now. So the only way to save her, it turns out, is another like little horse trick that they sort of added in here, which is to whistle. If you click triangle on your controller, you whistle for your horse, and wherever you are, he comes to you or spawns right on you and just appears there. So we're gonna, before we get on the horse, we're gonna whistle to distract those troops from raping that girl so she can get away. And then, as soon as we do that, we're gonna, as quickly as possible, get on a horse and get out of here, because they, as soon as you whistle, they're gonna be on top of you.
Go to hell, you Tatar beast!
So there she is. You can easily miss her and just go to a horse. See, they say, like, oh, you can whistle, but you're supposed to, what are you supposed to do, read that whole thing while all these guys are chasing you? So see, they're already on me. I gotta get out of here. This is the way you go to get out. I'm already at a gallop. And see, the horse isn't super fast. This is like sort of a starter horse. He's not super fast right now, but that's fine. He'll get us out of town. It's not over yet. So get ready right after this cutscene to be on a chase, because they are right behind you the whole way to Talmberg. So you got to be prepared for that. Again, you might have to do this several times. Even the escape, you might have to do several times. It's very hard. So we're at a gallop right now. We're going as fast as we can. I wish there was a button that you could see behind you. This is the town of Ravna. You can tell by that brick building on the left, which is right next to Skalitz, obviously also being raided right now, unfortunately.
Left. Talmberg is to the left, along the stream.
Okay, so remember to listen to him. Left, Talmberg's left along the stream. Don't just keep galloping forward or you're going the wrong way. So, there's a bridge that takes you over the stream, and right after that, take a left. Just keep following the path.
Warn the others. They've torched Skalitz.
You'll also notice at the bottom of the screen, I am hurt. Because of that arrow, I'm bleeding. That's that red dot by the health bar at the bottom of the screen, and then I'm bleeding probably from that ankle injury, which looks pretty serious. Bleeding is a bad thing. You need to bandage bleeds, because you'll notice my health is just slowly going down right now. Oh, and my horse is about to buck me. So you got to stop for a second, let him catch his breath, and then we can get back on our way, because they are right behind us. Anyway, the bleed is causing my health to go all the way down, and it will eventually kill me. It's just like if you bleed in real life. You put a Band-Aid on it, you clean it, you tend to it, or it can get infected and eventually kill you. So you want to make sure you bandage your wounds. I would do that, but I'm being chased by 3 Cubans right now. Now I'm hungry as well. I don't know how close they are behind me, but every time I've done this, they've been right on me. There's Talmberg. You can see it in the distance, so we're almost there. There we go. The cutscene takes over. That means you have successfully done it.
Quickly, everyone! Get your asses here!
Hey! And loose!
That is Sir Robard, captain at Talmberg.
Quickly! We're closing the gate!
Alright, we made it, and they've closed the gates. So they've gotten the whole town of Talmberg. Well, they're gonna be getting the whole town of Talmberg inside here. And we're gonna be locked in now.
Someone give him a drink. And bring hot wine and bandages. Tell me, boy, who are you, and where are you from? What in hell's name happened?
I've come from Skalitz. They burned it to the ground. Slaughtered everyone.
Who? Who burned it to the
A
ground?
huge army. They attacked without warning. And they weren't Czechs or Germans either.
Who then?
I don't know. I've never seen armor like it or heard their language. Maybe Tatars?
That's Lord Divish, Lord of
Tartars, you
Talmberg.
say? Well, we'll deal with that later. First, let's have a look at that leg of yours. Grit your teeth, boy. I'm gonna pull that arrow out. Easy.
All done. You were lucky, lad. The arrow missed the bone. It only needed bandaging, and I've done that often enough before. War is a good teacher. Can you stand? There you go. As good as new.
Thank you.
If you idlers nothing better to do, get back to work. You'll have to speak to Lord Divish. Can you manage? Sir, this is a survivor from...
I heard, Robard. Tell me, boy, what exactly happened? Did you see the ensigns of the attackers? And were there any more survivors?
So, I don't know what army it was, but it was huge. There were dozens of banners flying on the hill above Skalitz. The ones who did the slaughtering spoke a strange language. They burned Skalitz to the ground. But a lot of people took refuge in the castle. I wasn't quick enough. And as I fled, they shouted from the battlements that I should come and warn you.
The soldiers the boy didn't recognize. They could be those Cumans of Sigismund's. It said they came to Hungary from the east, and now they're the core of his army. Sacking Talmberg must have given him a taste for stolen silver.
Skalitz is a small castle, sir. If Sigismund attacks, they can't hold.
Indeed, Sir Robard. And our small garrison would be no help, even if we could risk sending them.
You think we're next in line?
Maybe. What's your name, boy?
I'm Henry, son of the Skalitz blacksmith.
I know him. Did he make it inside the castle? I'm sorry. It's in God's hands now. No one else can help us. Anyway, thank you for risking your neck to warn us. Robard, take care of Henry. Make sure he gets something to eat and some rest.
Yes, sir.
And get all the people inside the gates. We have to prepare for the worst. Make all the necessary arrangements.
As you command, sir.
Just so you guys know, I'm not going to be skipping any cutscenes, and I'm not going to be skipping a lot of dialogue probably either. I might skip a little, but I just figure if you guys don't want to see that stuff, you can fast forward the video. So, doesn't matter if I fast forward through it anyway. And for the people who do want to see it and who have not played the game, it's a really good story. This reminds me of my favorite show, Game of Thrones. It's probably the closest I've gotten to being in a world like that. I've played games like Mount and Blade, that version, the War of the Five Kings or Clash of Kings mod for that game, which is pretty cool. It's a totally different thing, but this is much more of a role-playing, like you as a person in a world that is real and living and historically accurate, and it's pretty awesome. So you'll notice after this cutscene that at the bottom of the screen, so they've healed me. I'm not bleeding anymore, and I don't have an injury, but yeah, see, he's already complaining. He needs to eat food for sure, and he's very, very tired. So we're going to have to deal with that quickly. They want us to talk to Sir Robard. I would suggest going and doing that because that is going to solve these problems. But you'll notice that my screen gets a little foggy every once in a while. That's because he's tired. And he sort of stumbles and stuff like that. And so you get negative effects when you don't take care of your sleep and nourishment needs.
You must be all done in. Why don't you go to the kitchen and have a good meal? Sorrow is easier to bear on a full stomach.
Okay, so see, yeah, he's going foggy again. He's getting real tired, but we're going to eat before we go to sleep because just like in real life, when you sleep, you're not eating, so you're not getting nourishment, so you get hungrier and hungrier when you sleep.
He had a fine reputation. It's a great loss.
Hey, look out!
Oh, I'm sorry. This is the
milady.
Lady of Talmberg, obviously
You're
much
fortunate
younger
our good lady
than
Stephanie of
her
Talmberg
lord.
has graced us with her presence.
My lady, I'm honored.
So this is our brave young man. Welcome, lad. Bojena here will take care of you. No doubt you're tired and hungry.
Indeed. How could he not be, poor soul? After everything he's been through, he must be as hungry as a bear. Aren't you, young master? Here you are, then. Eat your fill.
And a little wine to wash it down.
Thank you, my lady.
When you're done, you can go and rest with the grooms in the Outer Bailey.
No, that won't do, Sir Robard. After all he's been through, he deserves a proper bed. Let him sleep in a lodge in the courtyard.
Certainly, my lady.
Okay, another good
Young
reason to
Henry
listen to
here
the
is
dialogue.
overwhelmed
You know
by
where your bed is.
generosity.
Yes, yes. Thank you, my lady. May God reward you for your kindness.
In the lodge in the
Eat up
courtyard.
now. You're in capable hands, so I'll leave you to it. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
When you've done, you can sleep in the bedchamber of the courtyard lodge. And
Yep.
don't forget to take off those filthy boots before getting into bed.
Nope. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is check, actually, let's just check our nourishment levels and sleep levels. Different foods have different properties. Yeah. So we're going to go to the inventory. So remember, at the bottom right of the screen, you can see my nourishment is at 0. I have literally, I'm like about to die of starvation if I don't eat soon. So, and then my energy's at 30. Usually you'd never let it get this low, but the game automatically is going to make it this low to teach you about feeding yourself and going to sleep. So, again, even this far into the game, what are we, an hour and a half, 2 hours into the game now? It's still a tutorial, basically. They're still teaching you little concepts of the game through the quests. So we've got a little bit of food that we took that we can eat. But remember I told you there are pots all over the world, and these are free, and it's not stealing. So make sure that you do these. Let's just eat one of these to get something in our stomach. So see, we went from 0 to 25. Like I told you, this gives you 25 nourishment. So make sure you don't overeat. The one thing I didn't tell you guys about pots is you can't keep eating out of them. See how it says drop into pot? So only once a day can I come and eat from a certain pot. But they said there was food all over the table. And see, like I told you, it doesn't say steal. It says pick up. So you can take any of this stuff. Oh, we are getting super sleepy. We're going to take it all, again, either to eat it or to sell it. I'm not sure which, but it's good to have it at least. Is it tedious going around taking all of this stuff? Absolutely. So do it as much as you can, as much as you want to, but you could spend hours, it's true, going around just grabbing food and things off tables and stuff like that. So you can get as carried away as you want. In the beginning, I mean, when we've got a lot of money, I'm not really going to do this, but in the beginning, I'm certainly going to. A little wine, take off a load here, have a drink and an eat. So what does the wine do? 15 nourishment minus 2 energy. For now, that's fine because we're going to be sleeping soon. Oh, you've reached a new level in drinking. Okay. So when you hear that little ding sound, it means you reached a new level in something. So I wanted to check that. I'll probably do the lentil mash. It gives me energy and nourishment, so that's cool. The roast duck. So another great example of real life. 26 nourishment. So roast duck fills you up. It's like very heavy, but it makes you sleepy. Minus 6 energy. Again, since we're going to sleep, I don't care about that. So I took 2, which takes me to 101. That's not a big deal. You don't need to keep it exactly at 100 unless you've got a certain perk that rewards you for doing that, actually. But other than that, you can keep it sort of just around 100. It is going to say, see, you've eaten too much. You won't get hungry for a much longer time now, but you'll be heavy-handed and clumsy until you digest everything. Basically, all that means, like I said in the first video, is your stamina will be a little bit lower and your movements will be slower. Our stamina is so low right now because we haven't slept. So, again, another side effect from not sleeping. See, he's blinking, he's stumbling around, he's foggy, so you got to make sure that you sleep. And the other icon in the bottom of the screen, by the way, is because I drank wine. I'm just a little bit tipsy, just a little bit. That's not a big deal. In fact, it can help you. Being tipsy can give you bonuses in strength and speech and charisma and all this different stuff. So, so this is our room. Sorry if you didn't get to see where it was, but again, it's in the courtyard in the middle of this lodge. So here's the courtyard. Here's the lodge. I mean, it's pretty simple. There's only one here, and they don't even let you go out to the outer section of the fortress right now.
What's it? Lout?
They're just letting us go here. Boy, the screen's really tipping. And then this is your room. That is a public room right here that houses a bunch of people, but they're giving you this private room. And by the way, this room will be yours for the whole duration of the game. You can come to Talmberg and sleep here whenever you need to. It's not much, but it's a bed. So you go sleep, and then here is the wheel, the time wheel. This is such a cool wheel because it makes it very clear what's going on. First of all, if I sleep like 2 hours, it shows me like, oh, your energy will be up to 38, your nourishment will be at 91. If I sleep for 7 hours, my energy's at 88, my nourishment's at 81. It tells you the comfort level of the bed, which isn't great. If I'm hurt, every level I sleep will heal me a little more too, but I'm at 100 health, so that doesn't matter. The other thing to notice is that the wheel is so visual. The dark part is when it's nighttime. 24 is midnight. 21, that circle, is dusk. 5, the circle, is dawn. And 12, that circle, is right at noon. So it makes it very easy to see what's going on. Right now we want to sleep until our energy is 100. Our nourishment will go down every hour, but that's fine. It'll only go down to 76, and then we'll eat when we get up in the morning. So we'll sleep for 10 hours.
Today the patrols will be doubled. Keep your eyes peeled. If you see anything out of the ordinary, report it immediately. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Usually it'd let me sleep that whole 10 hours, but they have a cutscene for me.
It is I, Henry. Forgive the intrusion. I didn't wake you, boy, did I?
My lady, no, not at all. But what brings you here at this hour?
I thought you could do with a little wine. It's just what you need to help you sleep.
My lady, thank you. You really shouldn't. You could have sent a servant.
I was going to. But to tell you the truth, I couldn't sleep either. I thought of you while saying my prayers. How awful it must have been for you. I came to offer you solace, to let you know you're not alone.
Thank you. Thank you kindly.
You're welcome. Now, Henry, I know this is all very new and strange for you. But I want you to feel at home here. You're not to worry about anything except getting
A little
better.
flirting going on.
God knows you've been through a terrible ordeal. I know what it is to be left alone in the world, although your loss is much greater. But with God's help, the pain will ease in time. And it can help to talk about it, if you feel like it.
Yeah, so you can choose to talk about it or not. It doesn't really matter. But two things will happen if you choose to talk about it. One is you level your speech skill, so it's always good to talk as much as you can with people if you want to level your speech. But it also helps your reputation with her and maybe even your reputation at Talmberg. We'll go into reputations at some point, but for now I am going to tell her the story of the raid. The other thing to know about this is for some reason one of the only instances in the game where your responses are timed. So get ready to have fast responses ready to her questions.
You might be right, my lady. I'll tell you what happened. It was terrible and unexpected. The day started just like any other. Father sent me into town on some errands.
So this is what I'm best at. You'll see at the bottom left, I'm a 5 in this, so I'm just going to go with this one.
A fellow by the name of Kunnish owed money to Father, who sent me to collect it from him. Only Kunnish had no intention of paying. It got a bit heated, as often happens when there's money involved, but Kunnish still wouldn't cough up the coin. Father was too generous for his own good, letting even a scoundrel like that buy on credit.
Oh.
Ah, so successful, see.
When I'd done all the
so you'll level up a little bit
home,
more in speech because that was
promised
successful.
Father I'd help him with his work, and I was looking forward
And
to
sometimes you get people to do
She was
things they
forging
wouldn't
a sword
otherwise
for Sir
do
Lancel.
if you're successful at speech. So I see that she's a 5 in this. See, she's revealed some of her stats to me because she likes me. So I could even get away with this one.
Father and I always chat in the forge.
She was a
On that
2
particular day, I asked him if
in
he'd
this
teach me
option, and I'm
swordsmanship.
a level 3 in this. So
He said no. He said it's
you always
better for
want
a
to
man
go
to
with
keep
stuff
his head
that
on his
you're
shoulders than lose
a
it
higher
over some
number at
pointless heroism.
than the person you're
Only
talking
known
to.
what fate had in store for us.
Oh.
But Sigismund's horde was already on the horizon, ready to attack the town.
See, this is the only one I can't really do.
A horde of soldiers was amassed. Pennants flapped in the wind, the armour glinted in the sunlight, and the horses whinnied impatiently. They were waiting for Sigismund to give the command to attack.
How awful.
And then death descended on Skalitz. The gate to the castle was
that
open.
one.
The bells and horns sounded the alarm, and the villagers ran to the castle to
Basically,
take
I guess for me, because I don't
They were
have like a lot of
carrying the few
intimidation
possessions they
or
could grab
any
in
heavy
haste.
clothing
I
on
saw
or
the terror in their
anything
eyes.
like that, I guess you could probably do
even
anything
imagine how
except
awful
the
it must have
intimidation stuff,
been.
and it would work.
I ran to the castle like our neighbours to take cover, but I didn't
But
make it.
remember, I did do 1 point
I had
in
to find another
speech
way
in
to
the
save
first
myself.
episode.
The men on
At
the
the
battlements
beginning, I
called
got a
down to
free
me to
point
flee
in
to
speech,
Talmberg
so
and warn you.
that might make a difference.
I was lucky I knew a concealed path around the castle. I needed a horse to get to the safety of Talmberg and to warn you all.
And with all that was happening, you thought of others like a good
So
Christian.
see, look at all these successful
scream.
speeches we're doing.
Teresa
This is really leveling our speech
She'd been
up
caught by
and
a
our
gang of
reputation
Cuman
with her.
savages who planned to violate her. I had Sir Radzig's sword, and even though there were several of them and they were better armed, I had to try and save her. I wanted there to be at least one person I'd helped.
And he won't say that
I
if you didn't
succeeded,
save her.
even though it almost cost me my life. After that, I stole a horse from them and rode off.
Like a valiant knight.
I'll never forget the horror. It will haunt me for the rest of my life.
Okay, so boom, we get through the convo.
Terrible. How could something like that happen?
All those were successful.
God alone knows why he lets such things happen.
You poor boy. I understand your grief, but God is not to blame for the ills of this world. That is the work of Satan and those who do his bidding. Those who are corrupted by greed, envy, and pride. You must not lose faith, whatever life brings. Fate has not been merciful to me, and my husband either. Although in comparison to the horrors you went through. I was young when I married my husband. It was my father's wish. Divish was a lot older than I, but a woman must bear her lot. Shortly after our marriage, before I even got a look at Talmberg, the castle was stormed and my husband was imprisoned.
Really?
My husband had some quarrel with Sir Havel Medek of Valdek, who decided to resolve it by force. He stormed the castle, burned down the village of Pribyslavitz, and killed many of our men.
Pribyslavitz.
Even the old chamberlain. He imprisoned my husband in the castle and put his own garrison there.
That's awful.
I was barely 18 years old, and all of a sudden, I was left alone with Sir Robert. We didn't know what to do. We went to Prague to appeal to the king and sought help from Divish's friends, but all to no avail. We tried for years, but it seemed I was destined to be left alone and my husband to rot in jail in his own castle.
Years, you say?
7 years. That's how long it took before Havel was condemned as an enemy of the crown. And even then, he refused
Like I
to
said,
surrender
very
the
story-oriented,
castle
especially
and
the
release
early
my
hours of the
husband.
game.
In the end, I
They want to
raised the
establish
money
the
to pay a
world
ransom, and only then,
before they
by
sort
the
of let you
grace of
loose
Lord
into it.
Jesus, did I finally lay eyes on my husband once more.
7 years. And was Havel punished for it?
Never. And after 7 years, my husband returned to me an infirm old man.
Sir Divish seems like a good, strong man.
Certainly, only he has many concerns. He had to rebuild Talmberg. After he was released, the king appointed him Burgrave of Prague Castle, and he was very busy. He had no time for me at all. But at least we were in the city, and there was something going on. And now, we're here.
My lady, you're still young and beautiful. Your best years are still ahead of you.
Would that that were true, lad. Would it were true. But what am I doing bothering you with this? You have troubles enough of your own. I'll go and let you sleep. I enjoyed our little talk, Henry. Good night, and God bless.
Good night.
He definitely needs his sleep. Okay, got to know the lady at Talmberg a little bit. And these little pop-ups at the top right, they're for your codex. You can go to the codex in your inventory and see a whole bunch of history lessons and stuff about the history of Bohemia in this time. Ooh, flashback.
We have to close the gates. You can't go back.
Henry, help us!
Help us, son. Don't be a coward.
Henry, wake up. You don't want to miss this.
What is it? What's happening?
Come to the battlements. One of our patrols reported a company heading here from Skalitz.
That's not very good. keep getting woken up tonight. Okay, so game saved. Alright, I know this is sort of an awkward place to end it, but we have gone through a lot, especially a lot of cutscenes in this one. And I'm probably going to be doing 2 episodes today. I don't want to do too many episodes before this patch is out. I thought it would be out today for consoles, and it looks like it's not. I will check again later today, but we'll stop it here, and then we'll pick back up right at this spot where we got to go see what the heck is going on, if we're involved in a night attack or a raid or what is the deal. And we will pick it up at that point. So, thanks for watching episode 2, and see ya later.